Jackson Radio Show.
The Senate Intelligence Committee investigate news outlets and I guess this quest to go after fake news. Does he value the First Amendment as much as he values the Second Amendment?
Absolutely. The president is a incredible advocate of the First Amendment. But with the First Amendment, you have, hold on, I allowed you to finish. With the First Amendment, with those freedoms also come responsibilities. And you have a responsibility to tell the truth, to be accurate. I think right now, when we've seen recent information that says that only 5% of media coverage has been positive about this president and this administration, while at the same time you have the stock market and economic confidence at an all-time high. ISIS is on the run. Unemployment's at the lowest it's been in 17 years. We've cut regulations at a historic pace. We're fixing the VA for our vets. You've only found 5% of your time to focus on some of those big issues. And frankly, those are the issues most Americans care about. Not a lot of the things that you cover, not a lot of the petty palace intrigue that you spend your time on. I think that we need to move towards a certainly more fair, more accurate, and frankly, a more responsible news media for the American people.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Let me ask you this. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Now I'll ask you, who's winning in the narrative of fake news and real news? Who do you think is winning? What do you guys say? Trump or the left? Trump? See, my mindset is Trump is winning. We are still talking about fake news. We still use the terminology. Same way that we still talk about crooked Hillary, right? So I like that we are still doing this. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she just put, that was Jim Acosta. This guy from CNN, he's got a complete, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. He's got a Jones for Trump administration and for you, because honestly, I see an attack on Trump as an attack on you because they're mad at you because you didn't pay attention to them. You didn't buy the narratives, the fake narratives of Black Lives Matter, the fake narratives of women, marches and things like that. And when we get into, I'm gonna be talking about this Weinstein guy here in a second, but when I think about all the things the left accuses us of and what we find out about them, there's a part of me that chuckles every time because, I'm a smart behind, but there's a part of me that gets very upset about it and says, why do we let this occur? This guy wants you to believe that, no, we're not putting out fake news. Have you looked at the stats of what's going on in this country? And I'm going to cover this as a separate story, but 1,000 ISIS members surrendered the other day in a major town. I think it's called Hawija or something like that. They've been part of Iraq. It freed up 16,000 miles of Iraq. It freed over 4 million people. That's who ISIS had sort of cordoned off under Obama. And Trump said, I'm going to kick their butts. And he's doing it. And not a peep. Not a peep. They want you to believe that Donald Trump's losing in the battle of the NFL, poll after poll. Oh, the people are starting to come around and believe that it's okay to be a protester and to kneel during the game. Really? Explain that to the NFL, because they and the networks are behaving quite opposite of what you're telling me the polls are. And let me tell you, there's no question in my mind, if the NFL felt like things were swaying in the direction of leftism, they would continue down that path. They're being forced to look at things objectively, and they don't like it. So, look, you are winning these battles. And the other thing you're doing, when these pollsters call you, you're going, whatever. What do you need to hear? You're not responding to them. They can't get real data from you, and it's very smart. Keep it that way. They ask you questions. Did you like Hillary Clinton? Love her. You like Bill Clinton? Amazing man. Barack Obama? Rock star. Just lie through your teeth. Let them go off on their false journey. They still poll, get this, they still poll overwhelmingly Democrat. overwhelmingly. After the beating they took, after the brutalization of Hillary Clinton, they're still polling Democrat. Anyway, so we got football to talk about. There was a teacher, we'll cover this later as well. I'm just kind of setting you up for what I want to talk about today. I know it's a little unorthodox because we normally just dive right in. But I want you to know what's going on in the world. There's a teacher who some fifth graders threatened to behead her. Fifth grade Muslims said, if you don't, let us do what we want to do, then we're going to behead you. And she quit. And the story's harrowing in many aspects because it goes to show you this so-called culturalization, multiculturalism that everybody's talking about is so wrong. Dinesh D'Souza says this isn't about, and I've said the same thing. America is one culture. We're made up of a lot of different people, and their traditions and things like that. But we are one culture. We're not a multicultural society. If you try to be multicultural, you lose. We are the reason why, people say, well, Kevin, y'all's politics, man. You guys, y'all only have two parties essentially, because all these other places have 10, 12 parties. Because they're like, well, we have the Muslims, we have the Chinese, we have this, and that's what they're struggling with in all these other cultures. We have two parties. And some people are, Kevin, we need more parties. No, we don't. We need one mega party. And we need two people, or, whatever, who say, even as many as three, if you want to go independent, who fight to say, we are truly going to be the pulse of the nation and bring it together. That's how I see this. Now, Barack Obama would say, yeah, I was the pulse of the nation for 8 years. No, you weren't. We proved that they could take the most leftist, slick-talking snake oil salesman they wanted, and you could say, he's going to bring our culture together. He's going to make us this united America. He couldn't do it. You want to know why? Because guys like him, they don't think like us. Donald Trump will do it because he cares about everybody. Look, there are people that when Trump was running, they thought he was a Democrat. He's a Democrat shill. He's not really for us. Okay, if you still believe that, now ask yourself, anti-Trumpers or whatever you want to call yourselves, do you still believe that? Do you believe that Democrats will look at his policies if you bear down and say, look, we're about making America great. The better we are, the more people we can help. If we explain that concept, I'm confident we will bring many people over. But Donald Trump is saying we are one culture, the American culture. That can include Muslims who don't buy into the nonsense of Sharia, who buy into our Constitution. I listened to an illegal lawyer in New York. He's got his law degree in New York, talk about the constitutionality of illegals wanting constitutional rights or having constitutional rights. It's ridiculous what these people think. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about this Hollywood weirdo and the implications of that. Keep it here, folks.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.